Good day. Good day, beloved, and welcome to Mental Health and You. I'm your host, Cynthia Timms. Now, before I introduce my guest today, I want to share with you a quote from the great poet, laureate of our country and our world, Toni Morrison, which I think is quite appropriate for this topic. The great Toni Morrison once said, "This is precisely the time when artists go to work. There is no time for despair, no time for self pity, no time for silence, no room for fear. We speak, we write, we do language. This is how civilizations heal." With that in mind, I want to introduce to you our guest for today. Miss Joanne Ashe is a poet, she's a teacher, she's an ex-wife, she's a comedian, not all in that order, but she has been on the scene doing her stuff, educating and enlightening the audience of New Jersey and all over the world for many years. And she's an old friend of mine. She's also a published poet. But we're going to talk more about that and her evolution in the arts. I introduce to you Miss Joanne Ashe.
Hi, everybody. Hi. Hey, San, it's a pleasure to be here, sweetie.
Thank you.
It really is.
Thank you for being part of Mental Health and You. You know, Joanne,
Absolutely.
it's been I wanted to open up with that poem, with that quote from Toni Morrison,
Hmm.
because when we're looking at our society today, we're looking at what's going on, particularly with artists who look like us.
Yeah,
This is certainly a time. This quote, I think, is
appropriate.
appropriate.
Mhm. Yeah,
But
absolutely.
as we go deeper, tell me what's been going on. Thank you for being a part, as I said, of Mental Health and You. I,
Absolutely. I
I,
need to be on this set.
I introduce you as a poet, a comedian. You're a grandmother.
My
You're
great
a
grandmother
great
now.
mother. You're a teacher.
Uh-huh.
You're all of that and other. So, how do you balance all of that?
You know what? Piggybacking off of what you said about Tony's quote,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if people know Huey P. Newton had a book of poetry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mostly every revolutionary that you know was a writer, or had some artistic creative outlet, And there was a time when poets were, and they still should be, the voice of the people. And they were killed, they were jailed, they were had to withstand horrific treatment because they spoke out and said things against the regimes that were in place. And that's basically what's going on now. Everybody's getting canceled. You can't say the things you need to say. You go on a college campus, you can't say, basic things that comedians are so like Richard Pryor. You can say anything you want out of his mouth. You
Yes.
can't do that anymore. And it's really, I don't know. It puts a strain on your creativity. I'll put it that way.
Well,
It really does.
speaking of your creativity, when we first met all those many years ago, you were doing poetry. You were doing
I sure
poetry
was.
all over the place. Now you're doing comedy.
Uh-huh.
Where did that start? And where has it always been there?
Okay, and I think it must have been, but let me tell you, since I was 4 years old,
Yes.
I used to do poetry at the Colored Y in Montclair. So that was like 1958 because I was born in 54. So they in Montclair, even though it's been in the Times Magazine and Newsweek as the most, what is it, biracial and the most diverse town in America. No, they were segregated at one point. Black women couldn't even try on white clothes in the center of town at one point. But anyway,
This is Montclair, New Jersey, y'all.
Montclair, New
Not
Jersey.
Montclair, South Carolina. This is
Yeah,
Montclair, New Jersey. Go ahead.
exactly.
Go ahead.
Thank you for making that distinction.
Uh, oh
Yes.
yes.
So I would go to the Colored Y, and it'd be all these African American women who had on their white gloves, and they were drinking out of cold gold trimmed cups, sipping tea after church, and I would recite poetry, and they would clap And I knew right then I wanted to be a performer. I loved applause from that moment on, honey.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where the love of poetry. And then Saturday night, I would be in my bathtub memorizing poetry. And to this day, I know poems from when I was like a little kid. Poetry just sticks to my head. I don't have to have like a book of poetry out in order to recite. But that being said, I joined a women's writers group at the Whole Theater in Montclair. Olympia Dukakis, the God rest her soul, the award-winning actress,
Yes, yes,
Moonstruck. Remember Olympia?
yes, yes.
Yeah, she had a women's writers group called The Gathering, and I was on the steering committee. We did shows all over. We went out to California, went performed for the National Organization for Women, and we went to Senator Feinstein's house, and we just had a really good time. But she came up to me one Thursday night and she said, "Joanna," that's what she used to call me. She said, "You need to be doing stand up."
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of my poetry had like a comedic twist at the end. So that was a Thursday. That next night, Friday, I went to the New York Comedy Club in Manhattan, and Al Martin was the proprietor then. And I won $100, and from then on, I was doing comedy.
Now, how long ago was this?
That was 80, what, 86, 87.
Okay. And
Mm-hmm.
you're doing comedy and you're doing poetry at the same time.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
How
Always back
was
then.
there a difference in the crowds and the presentation with comedy, the reaction and response with from
Oh,
comedy as opposed to?
Ooh, absolutely.
Uh huh.
First of all, I've never had an audience not like my poetry.
Okay.
Never had
Oh
that.
boy.
Always got, an abundance of applause.
Yes.
But I'm gonna tell you, matter of fact, I did a show last year, I think Father's Day, with Talent. He's on the original New York Kings of Comedy, and I love him. He hosts a lot of shows. He's like the consummate comedian. But anyway, so I did a Father's Day show with him at the Stress Factory in New Brunswick,
Mm-hmm.
and we did two shows. One was 7:30, one was 9:30. The 7:30 show, same me, same presentation, same jokes, almost crickets. I couldn't believe it. And that had never happened to me before. I'm like, oh my God. But the second show, the people on the floor rolling, laughing so hard.
Oh
So
my.
I don't know. I think with comedy, the difference may be the audience,
Mm-hmm.
like, because what will go on in Upper Montclair may not take too well in Newark. You know what I'm saying? Or East Orange or something, So it depends on the audience with comedy. But with poetry, I just think it's universal and people just love it.
And how have the two? That was back in '86. Much
Uh-huh.
has happened and still
Oh yeah.
happening. So how have it evolved? How has your comedy evolved in that time, particularly as a black woman in today?
Oh boy, how can I put that into words?
I asked you that because I put that caveat in there because there's so much going
Uh-huh.
on with us as
That's
women of color, poets,
right.
comedies, period, be
Mm-hmm.
able to express. But we as women of color, it seems we always take the brunt of so much. So
Absolutely.
be it as it may, how has it evolved, if at all, since '86 to now? I mean,
Well,
should I ask?
the evolution the evolution hasn't been that great, I'm telling you, because
Yes.
in most of the shows I do, there's still more male comedians than females.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know as females, because a male comedian, if he has kids, and that's one of the reasons I took a really massive hiatus from comedy,
Mm.
because I was doing comedy with a group of black women called Shades of Laughter, and we
Okay.
went all over Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
And to one of our shows, the producer of Girls Night Out on Lifetime Television came, and she selected me and another poet. Her name was Sabrina Lamb, awesome girl. And so we got to go on Girls Night Out, and then I won a comedy contest on Rascals TV3.
Mm-hmm.
So back in those days, we didn't have social media. So once you got two television appearances, you automatically could sign up for an agent,
Mm-hmm.
and then you started getting booked all over the country. How was I going to get booked with the husband, with the ex I had? Are you kidding me?
Oh
I remember
boy.
when we went out to California, like I said, to Diane Feinstein's house. We went on a Wednesday, came back Sunday. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, none of my kids went to school. He didn't make them go to school. I mean, come on, are you kidding me? But men comics have their wives and girlfriends to take care of the kids, so they can just do what they want to do and travel. We have more responsibility than they do, and that could be one of the reasons why there's more men in the comedic world than females.
I see. I see.
Mhm.
in reading your biography, you made a statement that was powerful, and it stuck with me. You said poets are guilty of arson and should
Mhm.
be. Poets, let me just
Absolutely.
read this.
Okay.
Every poet is guilty of arson or should be. I just want to get that right. You
Mhm.
know, arsonists set fires, Joanne.
Yes,
So be that
absolutely.
as it may, so all things considering, what type of fire are you looking to set in your creativity? Is it a one? Is it a first alarm? Is it a second alarm? All things considered, I mean, what type of poetry are you hope to set? Are you hoping to build up to a four alarm, or should it be? Should we come out or blazing?
No, yeah. I come out blazing with
Yes,
my
ma'am.
comedy and my poetry. And I'm glad that I do like my poetic heroes are the ones who use political satire a lot, like Dick Gregory. I loved him.
Mm-hmm.
Mom's Mabley did it too. She did it more discreetly, but she did it. Mom's Mabley, Richard Pryor, now Dave Chappelle, Paul Mooney was the he would set you straight on race in a minute. And I try to do the same thing. I got one of the biggest compliments in the comedy world from Hamburger. You know that comedian with the
Yes,
hat?
yes, yes.
Hamburger, right? He, I did a show, and when I came off, he literally took my hand and said, "You're giving off that Paul Mooney vibe, and it's going to set you apart." So that was such a compliment to me because that's my goal. There's so many things that need to be said that perhaps if you add a little comedic twist to it, people it may be more palatable to some people, although I don't care if it's not. But, I just think that poets, that's our job to set a fire under people's butts. And
Mm.
if I have to go to jail for it, then I have to go to jail for
Okay. Wow. You know, now you're a teacher after all these years.
it. Yes.
When we first
Yeah.
met, you know, you were working another job, you retired, then you
Yeah.
went back to school, you became a teacher, a special education teacher. You just recently got your MFA in creative writing.
Mhm.
So, all this, you bring all of these experiences into the classroom. So how has that impact? How has these young minds been and have impacted you, and how have you are you hoping to impact them?
I love them so much. And I know there's something called a teacher moment.
Yes.
I've had so many of those. I'm going to give you one specifically. I was teaching at a private school in Newark, what do they call charter school. I was teaching at a charter school, although it's a public charter school.
Mm-hmm.
And people automatically think, oh, you're at a charter school. You have those elite kids. I had kids that were expelled from Newark public schools. Okay.
Wow.
So there was this one young man, he used to get on my nerves so bad. I loved him to death, but he got on my nerves so bad. But one day, whatever subject we're talking about, I would always interject with something about our culture, and it had to do with Black history. My granddaughter saying is, all you got to do is give my grandmother any three words, she'll give an entire Black history lesson. That's how I am. She's not lying. So anyway, I told these kids that they're sixth grade English teachers. I mean English students. I told them the story of Ubuntu. That is where this white anthropologist came to Africa. He went to this village
Mm.
and he had this gigantic basket filled with candy and cookies and bubble gum, anything that a kid would want, lollipops. And he put this basket at the end of a tree, at the bottom of a tree at the end of the village. Then he called all the kids out and he told them, the first one up there gets to keep all that stuff in that basket. So they looked at him, they looked at each other, took each other's hands, walked up to the basket, sat in a circle, and shared each and every item in that basket. So to a European, that's kind of foreign. You're sharing. One person couldn't just get it all. So he walks up and he's like, "Well, how come one of you just didn't get it? It could have been all yours." And they said, "Because that's not Ubuntu."
Mm.
He said, "Well, what's that?" They said, "It means I am because we are."
Mm.
And how could one of us be happy and all the rest of us be sad? So I told that to my sixth graders, right? This boy is now at Clark Atlanta University. Hit me up on IG. I was like, hey, how you doing? I'm so happy to see you. He said, Miss Ash, we always talk
Yes.
about you all the time. All of us, we miss you. We wish you was still our teacher. He said, but you know what? I told all the boys in my dorm about Ubuntu. That's a teacher moment. So I said this to him in sixth grade. He's now in his third year at Clark Atlanta. And that's what he told me. He still remembered that story. That's so if I can have an impact like that on a child's life, that's all that matters.
Hmm.
That's all that matters to me.
Yeah, I mean, that's wonderful. Is
Mhm.
that what brought you into teaching? I mean, you could have done anything as a writer, as a poet, as a comedian, but teaching.
Yeah.
Is
Let me
that
tell you.
is that those stories, those examples, is that something that brought you that you wanted to do? You know, that you wanted.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna tell you, my granddaughter just graduated from Villanova Law School, right?
Wow.
And she's working for this beautiful black judge down in Camden, Superior Court judge, female too. And she loves her job. She loves what she's going to do. But the day she graduated, she put a post up and she said, to the other most important woman in my life, my grandmother, I wouldn't be a lawyer if it wasn't for you. She knew since she was 4, she wanted to
Yes.
be a lawyer because she talked about me always wanting to be a lawyer. But the
Yes.
reason I wanted to be is because I know how this judicial system has such a disparity when it comes to young black kids and
Yes.
young white kids. They want to adultify young black kids. So I was going to be a lawyer to save them from going to the youth house, from going to jail, whatever. But then I thought as I got a little older, maybe if I catch them before that, they won't
Mm-hmm.
need a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? So that was my impetus for becoming a teacher, to try to reach them before they got into trouble.
Wow, that's a beautiful thing, you know, it's a necessary thing. You know, Joanne, I called this show Artists in a Time of Chaos and Revolution.
Mm,
And I wanted to call it that because, you know, this is mental health in you. And I believe we as artists, we have an obligation and a job, you know, we have an obligation and a job and a calling in our work
mm,
to not only soothe, not only, but we got a message. You know, we are the griots. We are the teachers.
mhm.
We are the mothers. We are all of those things. We are the somebody's sister. We're that voice that, in spite of everything, people need to hear. That said, oh, you know, we're that voice of resistance.
Mhm. I love it.
You know,
Yes.
so on this show, we talk about these things, particularly in our community, but it could be in any community, the community of humanity that's looking to the arts because we're leaders. And we are, whether we want to embrace that or not, we are leaders. Going forward, how do you see yourself, you know, in this particular society, in this particular time we're living in, when our history is someone is trying to erase our history out the books? That can't be done because of artists. That can't be done because of griots. So going forward, what do you hope? You, your stories about your granddaughter and all those children that you have inspired and continue to inspire. And I hope someone who sees this show is being inspired. So going forward, what can we do as artists to further when our museums are they're trying to close the museums, they're trying to close the libraries.
Mhm.
What lessons can we take from that going forward? You know, back in the day, I have to add, you know, we didn't necessarily have those museums and those fancy classrooms, but we did it just the same. We did it in the back of somebody's church. We did it in a living room.
Man.
You know, we did it in the backyard on Sunday. So going forward, how do you see yourself as, you know, as an artist, as a comedian, as a mother?
Well, you know what? My classroom is the church basement,
Yes,
or
ma'am.
the back room, or that shed in the out back. You
Yes.
know, that's my classroom. And it's so funny because there's a social worker at my school who told me, he said, "You the second blackest person I know next to Dr. Umar."
Oh,
But I don't, whatever I'm teaching, if I'm teaching science, you're going to learn about black inventors. If I'm teaching literature, you're going to learn about Toni Morrison and James Baldwin. You know what I'm saying? Anything I teach, and as a matter of fact, in New Jersey, that's a law. It's called the Amistad Commission Law,
mm-hmm.
where African American studies should have been implemented in every subject from K to 12. It's a law, but they do it as an elective, so you could choose to learn about it.
Yes.
Nah, in my class, you don't have a choice. I'm going to give you another example. I have a student that had a very serious speech impediment, and she didn't like being black. She literally said the first day of class that white people are better than we are. their hair and everything is better than us. They are so much better. I'm like, oh, they put her in the right class, didn't they?
Oh
So
boy.
I'm like, do you know how beautiful you are? Look at you. You are
Yes.
gorgeous. Your inner self is beautiful. Your outer self is beautiful. Your hair is beautiful. Look how it framed your face. You are the
Yes.
most beautiful young lady in this school. Are you kidding me? So, and I tell her that every day. And this is me. When I see, because you know how colorism is. When I see dark skinned girls in the hallway at my school, I pull them to the side and say, look how beautiful you are. Your complexion is so beautiful. I make a point of doing that because I know what they go through. But anyway, so this little girl, that was at the beginning of the year. Now at the end of the year, the same social worker has a circle and the kids come in and they talk. And so he asked them, what did you learn this year? This little girl said to him, I learned to love myself thanks to Mrs. Ashe. I love being black.
Wow.
So
And
yeah,
there you go.
I'm telling you, if you come in Mr. Ash's class, you're gonna hear something. So I'm gonna share the joke that I told you.
Yes, please.
Remember?
Yes. Go ahead. Go
So,
ahead.
okay, so I have like Cynthia said, I have various certifications. I'm K through 6 certified
Uh-huh.
elementary. I'm K through 12 in English. I'm MFA, so I could teach on a college level. I don't want to, but I could. But anyway, so the K through 6, when I first got my first certification, I was teaching kindergarten. Oh, I was so excited because all elementary school teachers know the importance of the read aloud and the importance of song. Song actually helps their brains develop, helps those neurons get going, right? So the first day of school, I started singing one little, two little, three little Indians, teaching their numbers, four little, five little, six little Indians, seven little, eight little, nine little Indians. The white man killed them all. Now they're gone. So little Becky went home, sang the song to her mom. Her mom called the principal. The principal called me. So I sang the song to him. He's like, Miss Ash, that may be a little too advanced for kindergarten. So I said, okay. So the next day I just sang a regular little nursery rhyme. The itsy bitsy spider ran up the water spout, about the environment. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain. They still don't have clean water in Flint, Michigan. So that
Oh
day,
my
little,
gosh. Okay.
little Connor went home and sang that song to his dad. His dad called the principal. Principal called me. So I went downstairs. I sang that song to him. Miss Ash, I don't know. I think that's too advanced too. So the next day, I just sang the most harmless, innocuous nursery rhyme that everybody in the world knows. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the clouds so high. Call the cops and black people die. So now I teach high school special ed.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow. You still got a job too. Okay, that's good. That's revolution going on inside
I'm
your
telling
classroom.
you, inside the
The
classroom.
revolution is going on inside this classroom, y'all.
Yeah.
Yes,
Let's just
indeed.
say it may not be televised, but it's going to be in my classroom.
I hear you. I hear you. That's what we try to do. I
Yeah.
feel as a mental health professional, I'm a certified peer specialist. That's someone who also has a history of and as being a consumer, Joanne, in the system. I have a history of anxiety and depression. So
Okay.
now, as a certified peer specialist in New York, I, someone who's looked on the other side now, I hope to bring inspiration, why I'm here still. I guess I'm here to do this show. I'm here to bring on Miss
Absolutely.
Joanne Ashe. I'm here to talk about how poetry has impacted our lives, what comedy can do. I'm here to talk about the beauty of the Toni Morrises and the Joanne Ashe and the Nikki Giovannis and the Maya Angelou's and the Sonia Sanchez's.
Yes.
For those little Sonia Sanchez's and those little Joanne Ashes yet born or need to hear this or in the classroom. So that's why we do this show, because I want you to know, and I want my viewers to know that there's hope and that you're beautiful and that your life matters. So be that as it may, how does your life matter? Because there's poetry. Your life matters because we got jokes, we got comedy, and it's a wonderful thing. Miss Joanne, once again, I want to thank you so much for being part of Mental Health and You. Do come back. We got to do a lot. You're going to be September 6th. You're at the
Yes.
Garden Mall. Check
Jersey
her out
Garden.
September 6th at the
Uh-huh.
Garden Mall in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Go
Jersey
online.
Gardens in Elizabeth.
Yes,
Yes.
indeed. So
Uh-huh.
check her out. Go online.
And Talon is hosting that show too.
There you
Talon.
go. There you go. So thank you
Thank
again.
you for having me. This is such a pleasure, Sin.
Thank
I'm
you.
so glad we reconnected. I really am.
And thank you to Bronxnet for giving us this platform.
Absolutely. Thank you, Bronxnet. See you, Joe. All
For
right.
Mental Health and You, this is
Yes.
Cynthia Timms. Now
Thank
go
you again.
out, be your beautiful selves, wherever that
Thank
looks
you,
like.
Mother.
Thank you, beloved. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Till next
You
time.
too.
Thank you.
All right,
Bye-bye.
sweetie. Bye-bye.
What's up, creative family? Discover your voice with Bronxnet Community Media Classes. Are you ready to bring your ideas to life? At Bronxnet, we offer television production classes for community members ages 18 and over, empowering you to share your vision with the world. Get certified in field production, in-studio production, and our new exciting addition, podcast production. Once certified, you can create your own show to air on one of our 6 TV channels. It all starts with our free Unleash Your Ideas Masterclass, designed to help you plan your show idea and set you up for success on your production journey. This class is offered at the beginning of each month for your convenience. Our dedicated Bronxnet team is here to support, encourage, and uplift you every step of the way. Join us and become a part of the creative force that engages and inspires the Bronx community and beyond. Sign up today and start your media journey with Bronxnet. Visit bronxnet.org/education to learn more and register. Let's create something amazing together.
I'm Chris Jakomick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is, my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jakomick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. My service never stops.
There's a new channel to explore, and it's bringing the classics back to life. During the day, relive the Bronxnet originals that sparked conversations and built community. At night, dive into the hip-hop throwbacks that defined the generation. One destination, 2 powerful lineups. Now playing on Optimum Channel 952, Fios 2138, and streaming at bronxnet.tv. BX Legacy, where history meets the moment.